Today we continue the series on how to create a pop EDM track from scratch, and today we get just a little bit closer to finishing this track.
True Sound Studios is in your ears.
Okay guys, welcome back to video 5 of creating a pop EDM track from scratch. So today we're going to turn this track into something that's a little bit more of a finished product and not so much of a work in progress. So as usual though, after I do these videos, I like to go back and, kind of tweak some of the mixes. So I just want to show you the couple things that I tweaked from last video. I did change the kick drum sample. I just really did not like that drum. I couldn't make it sound any better. And I did add a little bit of processing to this new one. So let's solo the drums. Take a listen to this. So as you can see here, added a little shaping to it, try to get rid of that low thumpiness of this kick drum. Did this kind of like mid-low scoop and just brought down the brightness just a little bit and then added some compression. For the snare, same snare sample. Here it is scooped out the mids just a little bit and just rolled off the highs just a smidge and added some compression. I'll play this. So I changed that and then I just actually lowered down the bass just a little bit, still just the overall bass volume. But the biggest thing I changed was this lead. I really didn't like the sound of that lead before, so I did go ahead and change it to this. So it's still in the Dimension Pro, but I changed it to a Rhodes, so kind of like that electric piano sound. I think this is going to work better because I think we should still add one more synth to this chorus. So take a listen to this as a kind of a whole package. Okay, cool. What I was talking about is I wanted to add another synth. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take our main chords that are these guys. And what I want to do is I actually want to go ahead and we want to use those again. So I'm going to go ahead and copy those. And we're going to come over here to the right-hand side and we're going to create yet another synth. I think we'll use the Dimension Pro because I think I'm actually going to go back to the synth lead sound I had previous to this. So I'm going to click the plus, insert synth, VST2, and right here, Dimension Pro. Click on that. Once again, keep all those settings the same. And here it goes. It created a new track at the bottom down here. And let's go ahead and we want to find the very beginning. So once again, I'm going to turn on the snap to whole notes. And I think it starts maybe right here. So right there on 3. So I want to come down here and this is our MIDI track. So I'm going to go ahead and paste those notes that I copied. And there you go. So now they're in here. So if I soloed this, we need to go and we need to recreate that synth sound that I was using for the lead. So I believe it was in Techno and Trance. Let's see if I'm right. Yes, okay. So Trance Pad 1. We're going to use the exact same one. Double clicked on that. So that is good. So if we just listen to this. It's a little chaotic, probably not what we want. So let me click on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the other notes that are in here. We just want these to be big sustaining notes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete those, delete these, and these, so that we just have the beginning notes on each bar. And then what I can do is I can actually right click and drag these all the way over all together. So now there's big sustaining chords. So that sounds good. I think I'm going to bring up the velocity of all these because I think I want them to be a little more aggressive. Now this is probably going to be really loud. So let me first go back to the synth. This is the synth that we just created. I'm just going to turn that gain all the way down. I know it's going to get pretty loud. Okay, maybe not all the way. Okay, much better. Okay, so, and then I'm going to go back to the MIDI notes. And this time we're going to go ahead and just copy all of these notes now that we've kind of changed them a little bit. And then click right here at the end and then go to Edit, Paste. And we've just doubled the length of them. And then once again, just zoom in, make sure that they copied right. Looks like it. So cool. So now let's take a listen to what these sound like in our track now. So it's helping to create like this bigger sound. It sounds like more is going on. Now we still need to add the hi-hats to the hook part here. And then we're also going to add like that big EDM splash sound. I don't know. I call it an effects crash. We will get to that though. So that sounds good. The only thing I want to do is first I want to go ahead and relabel this. So we'll call this synth main. And then this will be synth main MIDI. Okay, so with this, I just want this to have a little bit more of that pulsing EDM sound to it. So I'm going to use a plugin that you probably won't have if you just have Cakewalk Sonar Platinum, but maybe this is something you want to go buy. This is from Waves, and it is called the Pumper, One Knob Pumper. Now, I believe I got this for like, I think it was $15. It's really amazing. Take a listen to just what it's doing in the synth. So it's doing that like gating pulsing sound. So for this, I'm going to flip it 180 because I want it to go opposite of what it's doing right now. And maybe I just want this to go a little quicker, like eighth notes. Let me listen to what this sounds like in the mix. Maybe a little less. Okay, cool. I mean, you know, it's rough. I'm just trying to show you guys how to create a track and put this all together. So obviously there could be more tweaking, and I'm sure I will go ahead and tweak it further. So I want to move that synth that I just created up top so we can just keep it more with the rest of the chords, the first chords that we created. So I just simply drag those up. And so now we have these chords and these together. And now we have kind of our mass of the track. This is the stuff that's really going to fill up our track and make it sound full. Okay, so let's go to the drums. Let's do the drums. Let's get those going. So I don't like how it starts slow and then it kind of like picks up. I think that these drums should all just come out, the first half of them at least. So we'll delete those. We'll take these. We'll do edit, copy. And then right here, we know our track starts on bar 3, so I can go ahead and click there and then hit paste, and there we go. So now let's take a listen to this. Okay, cool. So I like that. I think that really starts to... It brings it more together. I didn't like how it started kind of slow and then picked up and nothing really changed. Now, realistically, you probably could even keep this in half if you wanted a little shorter intro. Not really sure where this is going to go yet for this track, so for right now, we'll keep it by itself. So what I did is I went up here and I switched the snap to 16th notes. So now I'm going to come over here and we're going to go to the draw tool and we're going to keep these on 16th also. And earlier when we had first made our drum kit, we added hi-hats. Okay, right here, closed hi-hat. So now I want to start adding some hi-hats to our drums. So I'm just going to start clicking around. It's kind of how I sometimes create these patterns. Let's see what this sounds like. So, you know, that's cool. I guess you just never know what it's going to work till maybe the very end. So let's go ahead and let's just take this and we will copy it. and just kind of paste this a few different times. And I think this will be good for right now, but really that's all I do for drums, is really just kind of click around. If you have this snap on, there's really nothing that you should create that should be too, radically crazy. That's not going to work. I do know I'm going to have to pull that hi-hat volume down. It sounds a little loud. So I am going to close this, and then we're just going to go to our hi-hat track. Turn the gain down. Okay, cool. So that is really starting to sound good. I am going to always save, try to save as much as humanly possible. Okay, so I have a little trick when it comes to the verses to try to make our verse chords, which are these, to try to change them up. I like to do some sort of different EQ type thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete the first two, and I'll show you why in a minute. So I'm going to delete those. I'm going to come up here and I'm going to create a new track. So here's a brand new track, nothing on it. So what I can do though is with these chords, what I want to do is I want to change them from the MIDI, which they are right now, into an audio file. So if I go here to freeze and I click that button, it's actually going to freeze these and make an audio file. So now if I right click and select it, and then I use the Smart tool, and if I also hold down Shift on the keyboard, I can actually drag this up. And now what happens if I unfreeze this? These go back to MIDI, and nothing changes. Okay, this is a really cool way to be able to turn your MIDI tracks into straight audio. So now what I can do is we can call these chords effects, and it's really just going to be the verse chords. So what I need to do is I need to go to the whole notes here, and we need to cut this right on the beginning. So that what I can do is take this and drag this all the way over to the very beginning where it's going to start our verse. And then I need to do the exact same thing at the end here. We need to cut this at the end. And we need to copy and paste this because we need it to happen twice because we only did it once. And we're going to do paste. So now that we have both of these audio files now for our verse chords, we can actually delete these MIDI files. So now what happens if I go ahead and play this? Okay, obviously it's very loud. Let's turn the gain down. Let's go from the chorus. Okay, cool. So now what we need to do is we need to add an EQ to make this sound different. Now, once again, it doesn't matter what EQ you have. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to very simply do a low pass here. So we're just going to cut off a lot of the brightness on these chords. So if I go ahead and play it, see, we've like taken away that brightness to it. So take a listen from the chorus. So that's cool because now what we've done is we've really changed the sound of this verse. So I think the next thing we need to do is halfway through the verse when the piano lead comes in, I want to add some drums in there. So we're going to click on the drums. So this is right coming from the chorus. So we need to do our draw tool, and once again, we'll do 16th notes, but in the snap, we're gonna do 8th notes because we don't really need to do anything too intricate here. So we don't need anything here. Just wanna keep this open for the vocal. But right here, maybe we'll add a snare on the 2 and 4, I guess it would be. So it's something like this. I was trying to click those in time. So once again, I'm just going to copy these. Obviously, you could click them in too if you wanted. And we'll just do paste so that we have this. So there you go. I mean, we've taken this track that sounded good before, but now we've just added to it, adding that extra synth, changing these chords up in the verse here, and adding the drums and the hi-hats. It's starting to change this track. So let's take a listen right from the chorus, right where it comes in. Okay, so it sounds good, but it needs that pow, that thing that makes it feel like it's coming into a chorus or something. Close these synths off to the side here. Just want to make a little bit more room up here because these are a couple of the things that I really enjoy doing. So right here, we're going to create 2 tracks. And what we're going to do is we're going to add what I like to call, what I was saying earlier, is that crash effects. And we're going to add a reverse cymbal. So let's label this crash effects, and we're going to label this reverse or rev. I don't know why I do that, but and then we're going to go here. And we're going to snap it right to the very beginning. I just changed it to whole notes again. Now these samples are obviously, it's once again just like the drum samples. It's something you're going to have to either buy or download or something like that. These are kind of years of my collection. So I'm going to grab these 2. So they didn't go in the right spot, but that's okay. Use our smart tool to pull it back up. I'm actually going to grab this reverse cymbal. It's going to go a little further down. So right here, this crash effects, let's take a listen to this. And I'm going to unsnap this. So maybe just lower the volume down. So it's adding this, which makes it sound like this. So that's cool because it helps kind of feel like it brings it in now. It's doing something happened that's exciting. And then our reverse cymbal, which sounds like this, we want that to come in right before the verse. So here's our verse chords, and it pretty much lines up. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this here. So now it's cool. It's like an entrance. It's leading into this. I'm just going to lower the volume a little more. So it's these little transitions that help, pull the parts in and out. Okay, so there you guys go. That is a little bit more into trying to make this track a full track. So in the next video, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to take all of these essentially finished parts now. We're going to arrange the entire track. We're going to go from the very beginning to the very end, try to make it about a 3-minute and 15, 3-minute 30, which is kind of like your pop standard of how long the song should be. And then we're also going to get into vocals and some vocal melodies that you could put over these certain parts of the track to really pull this song together and start making it sound like a full finished track with vocals. All right, guys, so I hope this video helped you create a pop EDM track from scratch. So thank you for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, click that like button and consider subscribing for more content. So not only do I make YouTube videos, but I also produce tracks and I can mix and master your music. So once again, thank you for watching this video. I'm Weezna and True Sound Studios is in your ears.